What's happening, folks? What's happening? What's happening? What is going on? How we doing? How we doing? Man, definitely have to say I had a light day today. I did not go to any of the protests, any of the things that's going on today. I sat back and I had to take my dog in to get my dog cut. And his spa day today, so that cut my day in half because I usually go and drop him off, and they don't tell me how long it's going to be, so I have to sit there and wait. Come home and wait until they call me, and then I get to go get him. But started my morning off pretty cool, man. Started my morning off at IHOP with the mayor of Mounds View. He hit me up and was like, hey, I want to sit down and chit-chat with you. So he and I met this morning at IHOP and had some IHOP pancakes because I love IHOP. We don't have a Waffle House here, so have to be IHOP. And they closing the Denny's down, but IHOP. I love me some IHOP. And it was a nice conversation. I mean, it's a very, very, very smart man. Somebody who been through the thing I liked about him is hearing his story and knowing that he's been through the struggle in all walks of life. And he's come through it and coming through it through God made him a better person, which is cool as all get up, right? Cool as all get up. But we sat and talked, and that's the thing about sitting and having conversations with people. And that's why I tell people, instead of coming on here and attacking me, let's have a conversation. Because I guarantee you, we have more in common than we honestly have apart. He and I had more in common, I feel, than we actually had apart, and the things that we talked about and how we saw even the things that we differ in, we still saw some positives in that. And that's the problem. We don't give that a chance. We don't give that an opportunity. Right? And I've said it over and over. Matter of fact, I've been going around and around. I'll show. If you go to my page, hold on, let me show you. Seriously, like I said, I can give you I can give you examples of certain things that when I talk about things, I'll give you an example of a person. This person is called American Mommy, and you're talking about somebody who is totally red-pilled. I mean, to the point to where I can give this person facts, evidence, and the truth. Don't want to hear it. Literally, don't want to hear it. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is what I'm talking about. When you deal with and first off, when I deal with people like this, it really is, and I don't think people realize that, how exhausting it is to deal with these type of people. Somebody who's taken the pill, and that pill is red, it is exhausting dealing with those people. It is. That's why a lot of times I cut it short, because I'm like, number one, you're not going to get through to them. You're not. Let's be real. You're not. I don't care what you say. You can give them the facts. You can show them video. You can show them books. Everything. It's not going to work. Same thing with somebody who has taken a blue pill. Doesn't matter what you say. It's just not going to. And I'm not talking about change. Hold on now. let me make sure we understand something. I'm not talking about changing people's minds. You're going to believe what you want to believe. But again, I go back to the point of saying everything that the left says isn't true, and everything the right says isn't true. So somewhere there's a middle. If you can, get them people to kind of see the middle, because you're not going to clear pill all of them. All of them are not going to be clear pilled. It's just not going to work that way. It's just not going to happen. And there is where the problem is. That's where we run into the problem, right? But I had a good conversation today with the mayor. I had a really, really good conversation today with the mayor. I went by where they was setting up. In our neighborhood was setting up to sign up kids for our nonprofit that I'm a part of, that I help run. For, we teach the kids how to play chess, and then take them all over Minnesota to these chess teaching them how to do video. Well, right now we're teaching them how to actually do video, how to make a movie. They're literally going step by step how to make a movie. The second Sunday in February, I got to just put this down. And if I'm wrong, I will correct it. The young entrepreneurs will be at Rosedale Mall on the second Sunday of February. And what that is the kids that we have, I think we got 17 signed up this year to sell their product. So what these kids have to do is they have to come up with a complete business plan. Complete. We got to know what they're selling. We got to know what's in the ingredients if they're selling something, with ingredients, or whatever. It has to be a complete business plan. How much you're selling it for? What's the profit you think you're going to get off of this here? Everything. We do it every single year. Every single year we do this with these kids. And we teach them how to be young entrepreneurs. And then we take them over to the mall, Rosedale Mall, and they're able to sit there the whole afternoon and sell their product. And if they got a good product, what happens is whomever sells the most of their products, they win something. So they have to come up with a good product. The product that they sell, we have to see a good business plan. So we're teaching these kids how to survive and be able to make their own. So that will be I do believe it's the second Sunday. If not, I will make sure I will correct that. But y'all should just stop by and support the kids. If you're in that area, stop by and see what we're doing with these kids. See how these kids are growing. When we first started, we only had when we first started, we had 5 kids. First time we ever did this, 5. This year we got 17 kids. That's going to be a part of what we're doing here. With these kids also, like I said, we have kids who want to be in the film industry. We're teaching them how to make short videos. And those short videos will be pretty soon put out on the internet so you guys can see what we're doing with these kids. So it's all about keeping these kids off the street. If we can keep them interested in doing things, not only interested in doing things, but interested in actually going into something. One of the things that we're working on, that we're hoping to launch this summer, if everything works out, plumbers. We're going to be teaching any kid who wants to be a plumber. We're going to have classes, And we're going to have plumbers who volunteer their times will come in and teach the kids how to actually be plumbers, how to go in, unclog things, do this and do that. Actually be plumbers. So that's what we're going to be working on. So we're looking at bringing vocation into these kids' lives. So when these kids leave this here little program we got, and if he wants to keep going being a plumber, then he can go be an apprentice. And being in with the education that we give him walking into a shop being an apprentice, he will be making more money than any apprentice that walks off the street. That is our goal. And then he sticks with that because the plumbers are making some damn good money. So that's our goal right now. And everything works out if we get the things that we need to make this work. Get the things that we need to make this work, then we will have a group of our by this winter, we'll have our first group of little plumbers going off to wherever we team up with some plumbers. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking to the plumbers in and around the area and asking them, if they go through this program, will you bring them aboard? Because you need plumbers. Will you bring them aboard as apprentice? And if they say, yeah, that'd be cool. So that kid, not only is he going to go through the program, but we're going to do our best to get him into a shop. And then it's up to him. It's up to him to stick and stay, to be able to stay in there to make that big money. So that's what we're doing with these here kids. And that's our goal. And if the plumbing thing works, like we said, we're gonna bring in framers. We're gonna bring in framers and start teaching kids how to frame up these homes, right? Because everybody's bitching and moaning, oh, we got these immigrants doing all of this work that Americans should be doing. Well, we're about to give them a group of people that they could go here. Hire these people right here. That's what we're doing. That's our goal. That's our goal, and that's what we do. But what's going on, fam? What's happening with you on today? Hold on one second. I got a knucklehead mess with me. Oh, wow. What just happened? Let's try it again. I'll try it tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. So today I put out, I was talking about something, and somebody got upset because of what I said. So if you was here in 1990, I got here in this state the beginning of 1990, right? And again, I'll say this because this is my, I don't know what you went through, but I'm telling you what I went through. So in 1990, I moved here to Minnesota. And when I got here to Minnesota, I worked for a security company. And the security company that I worked for had a contract with the government, and we went through like all the government buildings, putting in locks on these offices where they had the key. I don't know. Back in the day, they had this thing called iKey. And what happens is this iKey, you have to have a code. It was the old keypad. Hit the keypad, boom, automatically unlocks the door. That's what, when I first got here, that's who I started with, a company that would do that. So that's what I did. I went around, I put all of these here keypads, put all of these, had to cut the locks in the doors and all of that stuff. And a lot of it had to do with the government that we was working with. And the government center down there right off Chicago, we did the camera system there. We did the card key system there. We did some hold-up buttons down there. So I was down there a lot. So I got to see a lot of people coming in and applying for, whatever they were applying for. So I got here, like I said, I got here in 1990. And you could go downtown, and everybody knows this. You can go downtown, and you can walk around, and you can enjoy yourself. You can have a good time. Like I said before, my wife would go down with her friends. 1990, 91, 92, 93, they would go downtown and have a girls' night out, and they'll bounce around. They'll have an awesome time. Have a good time. Probably about 96. I would say 96, because 95. Because we bought our first house, 2729 North 3rd Street in North Minneapolis. That's where our first house, that's where I bought my first house. It was in a bad neighborhood, and what they was trying to do was clean up the neighborhood. So they was offering families, if you're a family and you wanted a home and you wanted to move, if you were willing to live in these areas that they were trying to clean up, they basically, honestly kind of gave you a house. It was like, here's a piece of property. They knocked the house down. They built a brand new house for us. And they said, here's the keys to your $130,000 home. Like 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, upstairs, downstairs, basement, garage. Beautiful home. Beautiful home. Brand new. But the deal of it is you had to stay in this house for 5 years. You couldn't sell it. If you sold it, all the proceeds go back to the people, go back to the city. That was the deal on this. So we move into our house, and North Minneapolis was bad, and Broadway was it was okay for my wife to go to work, because when she left work, like I said, my wife worked for Paragon Cable. At the time, Paragon Cable was on Plymouth. So the only thing she had to do was come off Plymouth, get on Lindale, drive up Lindale, go past Broadway, go to 26, make a right on 26, make a left on 3rd, and she was home. Literally. Done. So Minnesota started literally offering, true story, because this lady says it in this video. She'll put it better than I did. But Minnesota was literally offering people, going, come to Minnesota. We'll basically pay. We will pay. What's up, John? How you doing, brother? Sorry, I didn't see that. We will literally pretty much pay for everything. I'm not kidding. This started in probably about 95, 96. Big flag went up. Come to Minnesota. They was bringing in Somalis like you wouldn't believe, number one. But they was coercing people from Chicago, from Gary, to move to Minnesota. And they was, and people was leaving Chicago, leaving Gary, and all in that area down there, because Minnesota offered more. housing, rent paid, insurance, all of that. '96 rolls around, and we start noticing, man, Broadway is getting pretty thick. There's a shooting and a stabbing, another shooting, a couple of robberies. They robbed their liquor store a couple of times. It's like, wow, it's getting pretty bad. '97 rolled around. All of a sudden, you hear the reports of all these gangs that came over here from Chicago. By the end of '97, it was full-out war. That's where the name, when you hear them say Murderapolis, that's where the name came from. Because in the end of '97, and usually, it's wintertime, just like now, you don't hear no shooting. Right? All the shooting, during the winter, all the shooting goes away. All the mischief basically goes away. But that winter of '97, none of that went away. There was shootings and killings back to back. Berean Missionary Baptist Church, the church that went in '96, that's when I started going to that church. By the end of '97, '98, my pastor was burying black men back to back to back to back to back to back. So when people ask me, when did Minnesota go downhill? To me, that's when it was. When was it that you couldn't go down to Broadway? When was it that you couldn't go on the other side of Penn in Plymouth and feel safe? And then the police got ruthless. That's when in 97, 98, 99, the Jump Out Boys. So we look at what's going on today. That's why black people sit there and go, again, seriously, we just sit back and go, we've been here. We've done this. What you see happening right now, they did this in the black community. The problem was nobody put it on film. Nobody put this on film. We had to witness. We witnessed this with our own eyes, and then when we told the world about it, you know what the world said? It's not happening. There's no police brutality. They're not on your neck. They're not on your backs. They're not throwing you in trunks. They're not hitting you 4, 5, 6, 7 times before they violently throw you in the back of a police car. That's not happening. That's what the world told us. Because they didn't see it on film like they get to see what's going on now. When they broke glass. See, another thing, back in the day, they got to chase you down the road. If you're a felon and you're running, or you're a thief, or whatever you want to call somebody, criminal. Oh, there was no calling off the police. I don't care who's in the street. I don't care what car is wherever. Either the police was going to crash into somebody or the criminal was going to crash into them. That's the reason why the Minneapolis police can't go through the city chasing people anymore. That is the very because they was running into people. They was tearing people cars up, whether it was sitting on the side of the road or if it was going through a stoplight. Like every single day. This was happening every single day. And the city was like, enough of this. We can't have these cops out here being out of control like this, just chasing these people down the road and causing accidents and killing people. We can't do that. That's the reason why now they can't chase people like that. Because of what was going on back then. And then, again, we had the Jump Out Boys. We had all of these gang task forces. in Minneapolis and in St. Paul. Like I said, you can be standing on a corner and they just come rolling up. 4 or 5 cars deep. They just jump up and start, literally just jump out and start grabbing people. You're sitting there going, what did I do? I've never even been to jail. I've never even been to court. What did I do? Boom. They throw you in the back of the car. They get you downtown. They get you over to the 4th precinct, right there on Plymouth. And then they process you. Then they figure out, oh, we got the wrong guy. Get out of here. Boot you out the front door. That's why they decided to disband, literally disband. Look it up. Disband the gang units because they got just out of control. So when they're talking about when did Minneapolis get to the point to where it's at now? When did downtown go downhill the way it did? Because a lot of people, like you said, I remember when we can go down there. I remember Metro Gang Task Force was savage. Yeah, Metro Gang. Thank you very much. Travis said that. When did downtown really just, and everybody, oh my God, I can't believe downtown after COVID. What people don't realize is the gangs had moved into downtown way before COVID. Here's another thing that people don't realize, and some of y'all probably remember this. There was a video that came out that this guy came out of the bar. He was drunk, and a group of boneheads beat this guy, was kicking this guy, was jumping on top of this guy, and they stole his wallet, and all of them ran off. And I was shocked that they released the video because that would scare everybody from downtown. But here's the thing with this. That had been going on. What y'all witnessed on that video had been going on for a long time. The bars and the bar association and that club, they didn't report a lot of when people got beat, whether they got beat up in the bar, whether they got beat up leaving the bar, whether they got jumped and assaulted before the bar. They wasn't reporting any of that stuff. They just wasn't reporting it. And when they did, if the cops, if they wanted to show up, they'll show up. If not, it just went unreported. And all the time, people were going down there and getting their butts kicked downtown for a long time before somebody actually started going, wow, downtown is getting really, really bad. A lot of people have been getting hurt. A lot of people have been getting beat. Wow. But downtown was exactly the way it was from jump. Y'all just didn't realize it. And white people from out of what's that one on my page? This one kid says, yeah, I was in 96. When I went to the U, he says we would go downtown all the time. Yeah. And then y'all stopped. Because the gangs start taking it over. The gangs start moving in. Right now, there's literally gangs that live in the high rises off of Hennepin. You go south on Hennepin, and those high rises down there, those are gang affiliated down there right now. That's when people ask me, they be like, "Hey, Rev, what do you go to?" If I go downtown, and I got my wife with me, we'll go down on Washington, North Loop, where the rich white people live, where the police patrol, like you see a police like every 12 seconds. All those bars that's on Washington, you can go there and have a good time. You can go down there. You can enjoy yourself. And you ain't got nothing to worry about. Seriously. I know everybody talking about, oh, my God, I'm never going downtown. I'm not. I wouldn't tell you to go somewhere that I think is good. No, you can go down there. You go down and see white people. Go down there tonight, right now. I guarantee you see a bunch of white people over in the North Loop walking their dog. What time is it? It's like 7:30. It's dark out. They walking their dog because they know nothing's going to happen because they got cameras over there like you wouldn't believe. The police will show up there in 2.2 seconds. Now, you go First Avenue, you go over to that area, you go in the area by the baseball stadium, you go over by the basketball area. Now, that's a total different story. And it's just right up the street, right? If you know where I'm talking about, you know that's literally right up the street. I ain't telling you to go there at night. I'm just not. You can go. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm telling you is don't leave a bar drunk. Women shouldn't go there by themselves and go into parking ramps. Should not do that. Or walk the streets by yourself. I wouldn't suggest that down there. But like I said, there are some places that you can definitely go. But all of this stuff started, period, point blank. And yeah, that's it. Get mad if you want, but I already put evidence right there on my page. When all of them people start coming here to Minnesota from Chicago, hell broke loose. Period. When Minnesota opened the door and was like, come here, come here, come here. And all them people come in. And then the young Somalis start growing up. All right? All them young Somali boys start growing up. And then the Somalis start fighting with the Crips and the Bloods and the highs and the lows. And that's when the wars started literally downtown. Because that basically was a meeting point. Because Somali being over there on Riverside and the highs and the lows are over on North Side. So they was trying to, both sides was trying to see who's going to control downtown. That's what the big fight was about. Who was going to control downtown? The Crips and the Bloods won. The Crips and the Bloods split up downtown. That's why you don't see the Somali boys over there. They basically, Crips and the Bloods basically split up downtown. And they don't mess with each other. But every now and then, somebody would go down there and mess with those groups down there. And the cops know that. See, and here's another thing. And the Minneapolis Police Department, they know they're down there. They know who they are. They know exactly who each and every one of them boys are. Because if they wanted to go get them, just like they had this big RICO case, right? They knew who they were. They just was waiting until they tried to figure out something so we can get these people. But right now, every gang that's down there, the Minneapolis Police Department know exactly who they are, how old they are, what color eyes they got. Don't be fooled, people. Don't be fooled. But that's just a fact. But to me, like I said, just me. Now, I like I said, you could say it's something else. Okay, that's cool. But like I said, to me, that's when I feel that's when I feel that it all went downhill. That's when they start bringing all these people in here. Now, I'm a transplant. Don't get me wrong. You know, I was living in Anaheim, California when I met my wife, who is from here. So I transplanted from Anaheim, California. But I didn't bring the bad vibes with me. When I got here, leaving California and coming here to Minnesota, I was like, oh my God. This is like land of milk and honey. Because I left Anaheim, California. I live when I first got there, I lived in Oceanside, left Oceanside, moved up to Compton. We stayed in Compton for a little bit. Left Compton after we was like, yeah, we got to go. I ain't never seen nothing like that. That's crazy. And we ended up moving to Anaheim, California, and that's when I met my wife. And she's from here, and boom, here I am. But when I first got here in 1990, it was awesome, man. It was unbelievable. And I was saying to my wife just the other day, I feel bad for my kids because my kids are older now. They're of the age of my wife and myself somewhat when we were, out having a good time, enjoying, going down and having dinner, and then, going to listen to a live band, that type stuff. My kids don't get that opportunity because if they go down there now, you just got a bunch of knuckleheads down there. You got a bunch of people down there that don't have a life, that's not going to have a life, and don't want nobody else to have a life. So they want to ruin everything that's going on down there. They want to ruin everything else that's going on down there. And those are just facts, people. Those are facts. And it's sad that we have to have people here that's like that. Now, but no, I just want to put a timeline on this whole thing because, and the reason I did that is because you had some of your right-wing influencers who lied again. Like I said, I'm catching liars left and right on Twitter. And it's become so easy too. They put out there that, George Floyd Square was downtown. Third world country and all of this here type of crap. If you go to George Floyd Square at night and you drive around that area, and that's no difference if I go out to Annandale, because Annandale I was just out there, just saying. Annandale, Minnesota is way, way, way out there. It's way on the other side of Buffalo. It's probably about 45 minutes down 55. Take about 45 minutes to get to Annandale. It's pretty much an all-white community. Some of the mom and pop shops that went out of business are boarded up. And if I went out to Annandale and I drove around really slow with all those boarded up buildings, I'd probably somewhat get the same effect that if I was driving around George Floyd Square at night where it's dark and it looks eerie. So you had a bunch of low-down, dirty, skibbling snakes, right-wing influencers who did that. They went down to George Floyd Square. They was driving around really slow at night. And, they said some things. But if you go to my page and go to the video that I made of George Floyd Square, you will see that George Floyd Square has businesses all up and down the road. It does. Now, as far as that square goes, the sad part about it is Democrats are the Democrat leadership need George Floyd Square more than George Floyd Square needs to be there. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about, right? They could put a bench right in front of where George Floyd was murdered, right? They can put him where he died. They could put a bench there. Even if they wanted to put a Mary Tyler Moore type little statue of George Floyd standing there. Okay, cool. But the rest of George Floyd Square, we have to clean it up. I'm all about getting a bulldozer down there and a water cannon and a street sweeper. Let's get it done. I'm all about investing money. Just think if we would have put $9 billion into, think about that, $9 billion into George Floyd Square. You know what that place would look like? Be like a Taj Mahal. It'd be so, you can drop your ice cream sandwich. $9 billion into George Floyd Square. You can drop your ice cream sandwich and pick it up off the road on a hot, sunny day and eat it. For $9 billion? Come on. Come on. But the Democrats can't let George Floyd Square go. Because if they let George Floyd Square go, we don't have a victim mentality anymore. We don't have a situation where we can see, right? Well, we can tell people to go. You want to feel sorry for yourself? You feel like feeling sorry for today? Go to George Floyd Square. Black folks, if you just down and out and you're in that mood of just go to George Floyd Square. And the Democrats love that. No, don't mess with George Floyd Square because we need this. That's why they haven't done anything. That's why it haven't. They have business meetings talking about what to do with George Floyd. Only thing they have to do is Rev. Can you come in and tell us what to do with George Floyd Square? Sure, I can tell you what to do. First off, we're going to get that damn fist in that circle out of the middle of the road. That's the first thing we're going to do. Second, what we're going to do is all them flowers and all that stuff you got on the side of the road there that's basically blocking a lane, it's all gone. Second, we're going to do that gas station that's across the street, that's coming down. No, it's coming down. The vacant lot that's on the other side there, we're going to do something with that. The other two buildings that's right next to that vacant lot that looks like it's running down, we're going to knock that down. We're going to redo that building right there. And in that area there, what we're going to do is we're going to put apartment buildings right there. The store that George Floyd went into and apartments and everything above that store, all of that's coming down. Because there's going to be a store in that apartment building that we build. And we're going to put a business center where Cup Foods used to be. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to put a four-way stop there, making sure that happens. That's what we're going to do. Not only that, we're going to widen that area out so it won't be so congested anymore. On all four sides, it's going to get widened. That's how we're going to clean that area up. And then we're going to open up that business center to entrepreneurs, to black entrepreneurs who need a space so they can get off the streets under tents. That's what I would do. But we're not going to do that because it's a place where the Democrats need so they can look like they're actually doing something. We don't want to disrupt George Floyd Square. I'm not disrupting George Floyd Square. I'll put a plaque on every damn building that says George Floyd if you want. Put his name on the street sign. But we have to get that area clean. We have to do something different in that area. And I don't understand why the people who live in that area, who have houses in that area, if I had $9 billion, every house that goes up Chicago, every house that goes up 38th, brand new siding, brand new front doors, brand new windows, everything. All that, all up and down the street. For $9 billion, you know what I can do with $9 billion in George Floyd Square? It would look like you wouldn't believe. Neon signs I would definitely have. I don't know. Just to have neon signs. All of that could happen if people would stop wanting to hold on so they can be the victim. George Floyd Square has been taken hostage for far too long. It is time for us to move on. And rise up and start doing something. It's just like I've been telling black folks. Like I said, the only reason I've been out to these here protests. So let me say this here to anybody that's new and all of a sudden, so I'm not protesting. I don't want y'all to think that. I don't want you to, if y'all see me out on the streets and I'm doing a video or I'm doing a live, y'all ain't seen me protesting. So if you see me on the news or you see me on a picture or something, don't sit there and be like, I can't believe Rev is out there protesting against ICE. That's not what I'm doing. Let me make sure y'all understand what, because I know, I know how the internet is. I know how y'all are. Come on now. I'm basically out there telling black folks to get your ass in the house. Don't be out here messing with these people. There's a lesson that needs to come out of everything that's going on right now. There's a lesson. It's like I put in a get up to go talk to the Latinos for Trump, Minnesota Latino for Trumps. See, they got to tell me they learned their lesson. The Mexicans for Trump. They got to tell me they learned their lesson. Before I say a word, before I do something, no. You got to let me know that you voted for this. That's what you did. They did. All that, what was she? Venezuelan, I think. She had that song. That Donald Trump song, and then 2 weeks later she's on there crying because they took. And I understood. I got your mindset. So when Trump was on the campaign trail, who did he talk about deporting? No. Let's talk about this for a second. Trump talked about black folks. Colored folks. That's who he talked about. Because he swear up and down, Trump said it, not me. They're eating the dogs and they eating the... Did he not say that? And he talked about them Haitians that was in, what was that? Ohio, was that Ohio? And so now the Mexicans and the Latinos are like, hell, he not talking about me no black, me brown. So he not talking about me. So I can vote for Donald Trump to get them Negroes out of here. Get them darkies out of here. I can vote for Donald Trump now. And they voted for Donald Trump. And then when Donald sent ICE here to Minnesota and said, go get them, don't get the African-American darkies, get the Somalian-American darkies. And that's what he did. Right? I'm telling the story in my way. But that's what he did. And then ICE comes here and then ICE like, boss, damn, we can't get them Somali darkies. Can't get them. And Trump says, well, we can't leave here with nothing. Go get them Mexicans. Go get them Latinos. They wasn't ready for that. They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready for this. Y'all, if you're not here in Minnesota, listen to me. If you're not here in Minnesota, Mexicans done shut it down. Literally, right? Y'all, if you're not in Minnesota, the Mexicans have shut it down. No, we don't get no more Mexican food, which is pissing me off. Can't get a burrito. Can't get a good. I gotta go to Taco. Oh my God! Listen to me. We gotta go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell. That is my favorite burrito place in Brooklyn Park. Go down. You go over there. Go over there. Right now, and ain't nobody there. I mean, and they make burritos like this long, about that fat. Some of y'all probably know where I'm at, what I'm talking about. Right there by the McDonald's, right off 252 and 85th. That place over there. They have the biggest burritos. Ain't nobody there. Donald Trump have ran pretty much all of the Mexicans under. They're gone, and they voted for him. They voted for him. And now he's sending them home. Thank you for your vote. See ya. So I need for the Republicans, the Mexicans for Trump, the Latinos for Trump. Y'all want my help? I need you to come and tell me you learned your lesson. That's all that's all it's gonna take. You learned your lesson. But if you can't do that, I ain't doing nothing. You voted for it. You voted for this. This is what you voted for. So don't be out here talking about, they did it again. They did it again. Talking about that we brothers and sisters and we're allies in this and we're the struggle is real. And then I got these knuckleheads in the black community. As long as they're staying in the government center and as long as they're staying in places, I don't care. They can say what they want to say. And they've been doing that. They've been speaking against this. Black people have been speaking against it. But they've been doing it from in the building. They've been doing it from behind a microphone, and that's it. They ain't been out in the streets. We ain't been marching nowhere. We haven't been chasing ICE. We haven't been recording ICE. We haven't been doing none of that. None of that's been going on. But they have been speaking out here as long as they stay in the building. I am not going to bitch and moan too much about it. And they can say what they want. That's fine. But what we're not going to do, we're not going to put our skin out there. And then the next election cycle, the very people we put our skin out for, they decide to vote again against themselves. Now, y'all got to come to me and say you learned your lesson. You've learned. Because we told you. Period, point blank. And then what's funny to me is, like I said before, I got started tonight off talking about red pill, blue pill. So the red pill, who is liking everything that's going on right now, in their heads, true story, in their heads, they believe that Donald Trump is going to take enough people out of here as if those people are the ones that's voting. This is no. Those people are the one that's voting. And if Donald Trump take all of these here people out of here, then they're going to win. They're going to win elections here in Minnesota. The red pill believe that. That's what they believe. And if you look at, I'll get the picture and put it on my thing. If you go to any of their events, Republicans, you know what's in their events? I'll send you the picture. What I'm about to say. People be like, yeah, that's not true, Rev. Really? Okay. Then I'll put the picture on my get up. Old white people. Every event you see them taking pictures of the room, it's old white people. Where have that group gotten y'all? You haven't won an election here in a long time. And they can't sit there, because I'm going to show you something. The Somalis start coming here in where? 1990. They wasn't eligible to vote for a long time. Think about that. And the Republican Party couldn't win an election during that time. So when the Republican Party sit here and try to lie to you and sit here and go, oh, well, that's ballot harvesting. What about in the 90s? What about in the 80s? That wasn't ballot harvesting. In the 80s, they wasn't even here. The Somalis wasn't here. In the 90s, they couldn't vote. They couldn't vote. They couldn't. So in between that time, all the elections that the Republicans have lost, how do you explain that? How do you explain that? But they swear up and down it's cheating. This is what I mean by red pill. Now, the Democrats, they're sitting here going, they're hoping and praying. Right now, the Democrats are hoping and praying that this situation is going on lasts for a long time. They don't really want ICE out of here. They don't. They just saying that. ICE out. No, they want these people. I got to keep telling y'all, these people are upset. They're not George Floyd mad, but they are very, very upset. And what I'm going to monitor, I want to see if that white suburban woman who is right now standing on a Minneapolis street with a sign screaming and yelling, I want to see if that white suburban woman going to do one or two things. I want to know if she's going to vote with her husband or against her husband. Because that's going to be the telltale. That's always the telltale. It's what she's going to do. Because we know what the black woman going to do. She's voting Democrat. We know what a lot of the Hmong people are doing here in Minnesota. They're going to be voting Democrat. Asians, Democrat. And now a lot of the Somalis are going to be voting Democrat. There may be a few splinters, a few break-offs. But here in Minnesota, the Republicans got one group of people, their base, white folks. And there isn't enough white folks, and I don't know how long the Republicans are going to keep believing in their head that there's enough white folks here in Minnesota, in the outskirts of Minnesota, that can pull them through an election. They've tried it year after year, and it just has not worked. It hasn't. Hell, Donald Trump, hold on, listen. Tim Walz watched buildings burn. That's what he did. They burned. He left people to fend for themselves, elderly people. Tim Walz Whether some look at it as wrong and some look at it as right. Tim Walz made people put masks on. He shut schools down. He told people that they can't go here and you can't go there, but you can go to the casinos. That's what I always thought was pretty funny about this whole thing. There's COVID all over Minnesota, but you know where there's one place there's no COVID? The casinos. And what did everybody do? They flocked to where? The casinos, where there's no COVID. But Tim Walz did that. And you would think that that would hurt Tim Walz. You would think there's no way in the world that if Tim Walz was on a ticket, he would lose Minnesota because of everything this man has done. And Donald Trump lost Minnesota. Yes, he did. And if you look at where Donald Trump lost Minnesota, it's where? Go look for yourself. It's all red. And you know who live in all those red areas? White folks. Those are facts. Hold on. What do we got going on here? Right? White folks. All right. Well, what, John? What you just sent me a text? Hold on one second, buddy. Let's see here. But Chris, who's this? Oh, hold on. Hey, was this another shooting or something? Or are you sending me something that's already happened? Shooting on the north side with the Fed. Did this just happen? Wait a minute. Did we have another shooting? Officials work to confirm detail about reporting Minneapolis shooting involving. City officials are looking into reports that federal law enforcement was involved in a shooting in North Minneapolis on Wednesday night. A spokesman for the city of Minneapolis said officials are working to confirm details about what happened. Oh, wow, hold on. You know what? I got to make some phone calls. I've not heard about this. That federal law enforcement. So this isn't the Minneapolis police. Is that my understanding? Oh my God, if they shot somebody else, man, this isn't gonna be good. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. I don't think the Republican Party, when they paid Nick Shirley or Sherlock or Sher or whatever, when they paid this kid to come in here, I don't believe they thought this was going to be it. This is not it. I don't believe they thought that this was going to happen like this. This isn't good. And I don't care what these Republicans tell you. I'm telling you right now, this isn't good. It isn't. If they shot somebody again, you can stick a fork. Listen to me. If they shot another person here in this state, I don't see another Republican winning for a long time in this state. No, those are facts. Those are facts. Because like I said, I called the whole George Floyd get up. I knew exactly what was going to happen after that and how things. And then what happened after George Floyd? That's how the Democrats got the trifecta. That's how the Democrat got the trifecta. And the Republicans don't remember this? And they finally got some ground, and this is what they're going to do? This is how we're going to go out? This is how... Okay. Mark my word. Somebody bookmark what I just said. No, seriously. Bookmark what I just said. Bookmark what I just said. If there's another shooting, I don't know what it is. I got this from John. John sent this over to me. I'm reading what I got, and it came from KSTP News here in Minnesota, which is they are affiliate. And it says right here, city officials are looking into a report that federal law enforcement was involved in a shooting in North Minneapolis on Wednesday night. That's what it says. A spokesperson for the city of Minneapolis said officials are working to confirm details about what happened. I got to make some phone calls. Let's see if this is went down. Let's see if this actually happened, and let's see who. I'm serious. Y'all think? Look, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. If this is true, if they done shot another person, yeah. Hey, fam, I appreciate you guys. Hold on, before I go here, let me do this here. Just in case I missed something and somebody else have something to say. I don't want people writing on my thing that I don't read what they say on my live because I don't want this or that. I just want to make sure I get everything clear just in case somebody said something, and then I can go, okay. It's time to get clear-pilled. If you want to get clear-pilled, let me know. Let me know. I'll help you out. I've got the pill right here. If you want to open mind, if you want to be free, if you want to get from up under the red hat or the blue hat, you just want to think for yourself and you want to be open-minded and you want to be able to say whatever you want to say. You don't have to follow behind. You don't have to follow behind the status quo. I'll get you out of both of those cults. Both of those cults. You can be free. Know what it feels like. Breathe some fresh air. See the sunlight. Don't have to be in the darkness anymore. Care about what they say or what they say about you or to you. Guarantee it. Anyway, I got to make some phone calls to see what I can find out, see what's going on. I will talk to you guys later on. Y'all be good and be good to each other. Peace, fam. We're going to do it this way tonight. I'm out. Bye now.